Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Dad jeans. Dad jeans.
I have no idea where Emily is. It's very weird.
She just left you?
What'd you say?
She just left you?
Oh, wrong headphones. There we are.
Oh, what a farce! What a farce! We're in.
Yeah.
What is this? Noises off.
Fado himself would be proud. Jesus.
Emily just left you? She disappeared?
Yeah. I guess this is how
Jesus.
this is how Kramer versus Kramer started. I think. Like now I have to try and make him French toast in a mug. Crack a bunch of eggs in a mug, and then get really mad and go to my Madison Avenue ad agency and be like, "Damn her!" And then the kid starts crying, and then he falls off a jungle gym, and then I get to meet Meryl Streep at some point.
Right, and scream at Sidney Pollack or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Is that Kramer versus Kramer? No, that's
in a nutshell. Oh, is that
Tootsie?
Oh, Tootsie. Oh, right. Oh, or Sidney Pollack was his agent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you remember in Tootsie how he was doing things like he was making terrible acting choices, like saying yes to Strindberg in the park?
Yeah. It reminds me of the. Have you ever seen the clip from? Or have you watched A Toast of London? Do you watch that show?
No.
There's one amazing. I have to just send you this clip, but there's this running gag where he gets a voiceover job, and the script consists of just the word yes. And so they're like, "Go," and he's like, "Yes," and they're like, "We need more passion," and he's like, "Yes." And they're like, no, okay, and then they like turn the mic off and they talk to each other in the control booth, and they're like, "Okay, Steven, we just want you to read what's on the page, okay?" He's like, "Yes." And they're like, "Oh, it's so good," and it goes on for like 2 minutes. Classic.
Just read what's on the page.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is
just
amazing.
clear your mind. Brendan, welcome to Dad Jeans.
Thanks. It's been nice to be here. I've been a long-time listener.
Yes, it's nice to have you finally.
Yes.
See your face. Yes. We're feeling good today, my friend, because we got together with the Boogaloo Brothers last night and we cleaned that fucking city out. It's a beautiful day in America.
Yeah. When the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Brothers can unite in harmony. There's usually a lot of infighting, like a lot of people like the Zac Brown band, but the others like Ernst and Young or whatever the other fucking country band names are.
Definitely Ernst and Young. Yeah. That's city country. We don't like that.
City country.
Is that a new genre?
Is there a country called city country that country fans don't particularly enjoy? Please say yes.
No, but if there is, our friend Greg Felden would be the first in line.
He would. Oh, that's probably what it is. Americana is city country.
Yeah,
and it's like the only kind of country that liberals allow themselves to like, and therefore the country people are like, no, no thanks.
Right. We like you if you've got all your teeth. That's our kind of country. No, but actually though, like actual country now is the most homoerotic thing you've ever seen in your life. Have you seen some of these like new country guys who are just like don't like every follicle on their body is completely shaven and they're just like so beautiful, and they like rap now, but it's like the worst country rap you've ever heard.
Oh, and they're all dressed like Magic Mike, right? Like they have sleeveless black shirts and tassels and things like that. Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. I've seen pictures of this, and I'm like, this is it is fascinating. Everything's a fucking horseshoe.
Everything's a horseshoe. It all. I don't know what that means. Tell me what that means.
Well, you go all the way to the extreme of one end, and you're actually pretty close to the extreme of the other.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's an Ouroboros. It's a snake eating its tail.
Yep. And who would have thought country and homoeroticism?
Turns out they're a match made in heaven.
Have you seen the movie Convoy with Chuck Norris?
Convoy.
Yeah, that's the theme song.
Is that what the song's from?
Yeah, that is exactly Convoy. Yeah, and it's about a trucker, and his brother is abducted and held in a horse barn by bad guys. And
Okay.
he, the trucker, Chuck Norris, has to beat up a bunch of people in order to get to the final boss, beat up the boss, and then save his brother from the horse barn. And there's a scene where Chuck Norris is having his final fist fight with the final boss, and there's a horse, and it suddenly becomes an art house masterpiece in the last 10 minutes of the movie because there's this horse that's watching the fight, and they cut, and you've been waiting for this fight the whole movie, but they cut to the horse constantly, almost as if they had a huge problem in filming and they needed something. So it's just like punch, B-roll of horse for a long time, just staring and running around. Another punch, much more B-roll, you know? And then, so Chuck Norris triumphs, of course.
Yeah.
The horse bucks in gratitude of Chuck Norris beating up his owner or something. And then Chuck Norris goes into the barn, gets his brother, pulls him out, and they're both wearing really tight bell-bottom jeans and tucked in plaid shirts with the sleeves barely there, and it's like barely covering their bulging muscles. And
Like Duke Brothers style?
yeah. And he
Okay.
and he takes his brother and he pushes him against the door frame of the barn and pushes his entire body against him in the most affectionate I was in the most affectionate kind of hug I've ever seen in my life, and a long, like, they just talk to each other with their bodies pressing against each other. And I remember watching it, and I was like deeply aroused.
This has been Dad Jeans.
I was just so
Thank you, everybody.
forbidden. The whole thing was so forbidden. Incest, it had it all. It was amazing. Oh, it was great.
It had bestiality. It had incest. It had two men being men together.
Yeah, Chuck Norris trucks.
Wow.
A voiceover like Dukes of Hazzard, which was my favorite show at the time. Oh, it was great. I was like, oh, that's adulthood.
You could probably trace that back to the formation of a significant. That's probably an entire like genre of gay man, like Bears, or like there's some like
yeah.
Like the convoy gays.
Right, city country trucker bears.
Yeah, exactly. They would have a float in the Gay Pride Day parade.
I would be all over that float.
You would be finally letting your freak flag fly.
Yep.
Flag fly. I can't say that phrase.
You know how, speaking of that phrase, you know how calculus was invented by two separate people on two separate continents in 1927?
I believe you've announced this to our listeners before, but I just have to take your word for it. Okay.
Jimi Hendrix and David Crosby both invented the phrase "let your freak flag fly."
No kidding?
I might be kidding, but I can't remember. But I believe that's true.
I don't know if either of those people are trustworthy sources, but
oh, that's true.
I'll believe you. The Kraz. Do you follow the Kraz on Twitter? He is so fucking hilarious. David Crosby.
Really? No, I really should.
Yeah.
Oh,
people will
amazing.
be like, he just gives like one word answers to people's tweets, but they just kill me every time. Like, people will be like, you ever getting back together with Stills and Nash? And he'll be like, no. That'll be the entire tweet. And then people send him pictures of their joints, and he rates them. And I saw someone sent him some music and was like, hey, I just recorded my first song. What do you think? And Crosby was like, not great for me. Or something like that. He's like, you need to work on your vocals or something. Like, he's just super honest. I love him.
I really do. I don't. It's not a single. I don't hear a hook.
Yeah, no. Go into Kraz Twitter. It's fantastic.
Great.
We're in the upfront section. What do we got? We've got.
Oh yes, this is.
You've got a couple of things to say. Oh well, should we play our phone number jingle right off the bat?
Oh yeah, and if we could talk about our phone number. Are you game for my idea for the phone number?
Oh yeah, totally. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll put the word out there. And see what the response is. See if we get any bites.
Okay, so let's play this on both ends of this conversation. So, listeners, we have this idea. So we used to have a phone number a long time ago that we shouldn't say out loud, even though I still remember it because we let it Google takes their phone numbers away if nothing happens. And Jeff and I had to go
Yeah.
on a little bit of a hiatus a long time ago, a while back. That's why we've been doing this for 6 years, but really we've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah, not even. We have like a good 2 years worth of shows for a normal podcast.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yeah, if we weren't dads, I mean there's the rub, isn't it?
That is the ultimate rub, being a dad.
The ultimate rub.
That's like the convoy rub is the ultimate rub, actually.
The ultimate rub. So, all right. So, we're going to play our theme song for the number, our new number, and it is this.
323-515-9290.
323-515-9290. And
That's right.
we have a little idea, listeners, and our idea is that we announce what our segment will be next week, and one of our segments, and you can call in and be a part of the of that segment, because we'll be thinking about it all week. What are we going to say about it? And you can also call in and have your own thoughts about this particular segment, and it can be a part of the whole situation. So this is going to be a new segment next week. And our new segment next week that you can call in and also join in on is called "Will That Leave a Scar?" And that is this. Sometimes you do something as a parent and you're like, wow, that's really effective. But it feels like it's effective the way nuclear energy is effective. In the short run, it really works. But in the long run, you might be fucking yourself. Like you might be creating a little serial killer. By doing this particular thing, this particular technique you stumble upon that is effective, but perhaps a little toxic to the old psyche for your child. And
you're maybe a little on the fence. You're maybe a little on the fence about should I be doing this thing that I'm doing that seems to be working quite well.
Yes, exactly. And I suppose I should stop here and say maybe we wouldn't want to hear necessarily about corporal punishment that works, but everything else is fair game.
Yes, please don't. Yeah, don't tell us anything that actually would leave a lasting scar, because we're trying to have fun here.
Oh yeah, we're into metaphors.
Yeah, exactly. Will that leave a scar? I make my son sleep with the body of his dead grandmother. Yeah, that's gonna leave a scar.
That'll leave a scar. Do you think?
Well, the unfortunate answer, Brendan, I think every time to the question is yes. Like whether it's no matter how big or small, whatever you are doing it's going to leave a scar.
Oh, so we should. So clearly for this segment, we should have an oracle like David Crosby.
Ooh,
being like,
could we get a guest judge that will tell us if it'll leave a scar or not?
Oh, it's a great. It should obviously be David Crosby.
Yeah, I wish. I'll text him. I'll ping him. I'll see if he'd be interested. I can guarantee you his answer is going to be no.
Okay, so that is it. Here's our phone number. Playing it once again.
323-515-9290.
Shall we move on? Wait, you have another thing here about Biden signs.
Yeah, I have the same. I have one other thing I want to say before we get into the segments.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I walked around a new hill near my house with my wife and son. We like to go on little city walks, and there's this hill.
There's a
near
new
us.
hill?
Yeah, in South Pasadena with a water tower on it.
First time this hill has been. Did they just debut this new hill?
It just came out. Yeah, it was
just came out.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And so we decided as a family to take the hill, if you will, and look at the weird houses and consider the weird people that live up on this weird hill and be like, all these people know each other and all their houses are just a smorgasbord of weirdness. Here's some lazy 80s brutalism. Here's like a hunter's meat smoking cabin from the 10s. Right. Here's a thing that looks actually like a submarine. Here's like a deranged millionaire, and they're all on the hills. It's like so it's like
the Mary Poppins village is in your little burg
entirely. But that's any hill on Los Angeles is a buffet of American weirdness. Because we're all so severed from our own cultures. We just are like, well, I really like that TV show Love American Style from the early 70s, so I'm going to make my entire house a tribute to Love American Style. To which you're like, okay. What? Okay, well, okay, I guess, because California is a mini diaspora inside of a larger diaspora of like a nation of immigrants. And the immigrants
Yes.
that couldn't stand their family of immigrants that came to this country decided to re-immigrate to California and be 2 steps removed from their home country, et cetera, et
That's
cetera.
true. Can I jump in on this real quick before you get to the point?
Yes.
In that the thing that I've always admired about Los Angeles is you can live in any decade you choose. You can pick, like, if you want to live in the 50s forever, you can just do that. And there are bars that you can go to that are in the 50s, and you can wear your clothes in the 50s, and you can drive your car in the 50s, and
Holy
you
shit.
you can just become whatever you want to be and just stay there.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, this is
Right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the city where the outside is more important than the inside
This is true.
of,
Yes.
of a person.
Yes.
So we were.
So I'm sorry. Continue your hill walk.
I think that's very astute, Jeffrey. Tip the world over,
Thank
said Frank Lloyd Wright, and everything loose will land in Los Angeles.
Oh, I would agree. Sure.
Yeah. So we're walking around this wacko hill with a buffet of American weirdness, and there are lots of Biden signs. No Trump signs. That was awesome.
Okay.
But as I looked at the Biden signs, I remember before the election, they would give me a jolt of stress hormone because our doom was facing us until 2 weeks ago,
Correct.
and now when I see the Biden signs, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a reminder that everything was recalibrated and everything is going to maybe be okay.
Yeah. Well, I admire your optimism. I'm getting more and more pessimistic as the days go on.
Oh, me too. I have a Spike Club about this. Oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. There's also
Well,
that, right?
yeah. Well, no, I see your Spike Club. I just don't know when. I don't know what happens with Donald Trump. I feel like this guy just can't take a fucking hint. I don't know when he's gonna like concede or leave or what. I don't know how that's all gonna go down. It feels like it feels very much to me like the airport ban. Like, oh yay, we did it, we stopped the airport ban. Like, we all rejoiced because we congregated at the airports and it's done forever, and we still have a fucking airport ban. It's just like we think we win and then we lose somehow, and everyone just forgets, and they're like, we'll transition later.
Right.
Like,
Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That is a very, very good point. I could picture the news cycles in a couple months being like Joe Biden dragging his feet on reversing Donald Trump's most controversial executive orders or something like that, and we're like, why?
Yeah.
What? Why? And it doesn't,
Yeah.
and it's not quite clear what the problem is. And then it turns out he doesn't want to offend Trump supporters or something like that.
No, I'm saying that Trump is still there, and we just eventually just give up, and we're just like, all right, well, he's not going anywhere. I guess.
Oh, dear God, Jesus, bite your
Yeah.
tongue. That's yeah.
Sorry.
Right, we just give up. Right, because that has worked for him his whole life. You can picture him
Yeah.
at the dinner table at 8 years old, not eating his perfect steak
Sure.
and he just wants dessert, and his parents are like, "Okay, whatever, just stop screaming," and it works,
Yep.
and it's worked for him for the rest of his life.
That's all he's got.
That's all he's got. But America is too polite, and so everyone
Yeah.
is like, "Well,
Yep.
he just won't stop screaming, so we're just going to
Yeah.
give him what he wants and hope that he transmogrifies into a good person somehow."
That's true. Yes. We are all what is that? What is Oh God. We are all attachment parents. We are a nation of attachment parents.
Exactly. Oh,
Right?
Dr. Brown gave us Trump.
I love it. New theory. Speaking of, I've wanted to start another new segment called I don't know what it's called, but it's something about new theories. Which just seems I don't know why we don't have that segment. Like,
Oh yeah,
every week we've got a new theory on something.
that is pretty good.
Shall we mix it up though, since we seem to be on this path, and move right into Spike Club?
Oh, let's do that. I love that.
Okay,
idea.
let's do it.
Spike Club.
I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! Spy Club! Fuck!
Spike Club. Brendan, you are hot. You're ready to go.
I'm
You're hopped up on goof pills.
as the horses say, I am hot to canter.
Yes, canter away.
Here's what I absolutely can't fucking stand. Okay. So, after Trump was elected, And all us Democrats were like, wow, well, we really weren't paying any attention to the Rust Belt and the country folks and the people who listen to country. And we're only caring about the people who listen to city country, et cetera, et cetera. And we had this whole fucking soul searching, and we were like, what did we do wrong, right? And so that was annoying, but appropriate to some extent. And then you had to be like, did we neglect the Rust Belt and the countrified country people, like the country fried country people,
Right.
or is that not actually true, and they were just hoodwinked because they, were hoodwinked by Fox News, etc. But nonetheless, we did the diligent soul searching back then. But now we're fucking doing it again, and the stupid op-eds are coming out that are like, well, now we really need to reach across the aisle and learn from them and compromise. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, we won. Let them feel bad. That's the game. It's the World Series. One team has to lose. When they cut to one team walking off the field looking sad, don't feel bad for them. They would have been celebrating if they won. And that is how it works. They came here knowing one might lose. They lost. It's the game. When two teams are facing each other in a championship, one is going to lose. And the other team gets to just spray each other with champagne, goddammit. And then they're like, guess what? It's going to be a Dodgers year. All winter, the Dodgers are the world champions, and everyone else can eat their fucking hearts out. And so all of these reach across the aisle, now we have to be the big people. They will not change. They will stay hoodwinked. They will only believe conspiracy theories, and they will sabotage us at every turn. So if we pre-sabotage ourselves and pre-temper ourselves, we will never get anywhere. If we act, as the headline I sent you the other night, if we keep acting like losers, the world, even when we win, the world is doomed.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let me, at the risk of segment shaming you, I will say that we talked about this last week.
Fuck!
I don't know if you recall that conversation.
I have no memory, Jeff. Damn it.
That is okay, but it's a ripe field for discussion. So there's no harm, I think, in reiterating it.
Yes.
It does seem like there is a default. Well, I mean, I know the answer to this, and it's a bit of a complex answer. But it just doesn't. Every journalist, like there are no right-wing journalists.
Exactly.
Like a right-wing journalist is it doesn't exist. That's not
a pundit.
Yes, exactly. They're right-wing people in journalism, but they're not right-wing journalists.
Correct.
Like, because reality has a liberal bent. So
right, exactly.
So everyone in the media is, coming from your Vassars, your Browns, they have a liberal education and they believe in liberal education, and that then they go into a liberal field. And they're desperately trying to overcome what they see as an innate sort of feeling that they're in the right. And to do that, they have to accept some of the wrong, and in fact, they have to highlight the wrong. They have to go toward the wrong because they're like, oh, we everyone knows, we all agree that this is reality, so we're gonna present to you the other side. And therefore, the other side is what ends up getting all the air.
Yes.
And so we end up feeling like our side, our position is never represented.
Exactly. Because it's not some radical departure. It is what is.
Right. They're like, well, everyone has, like, they want to understand the right wing. And so they spend the entirety of their careers trying to understand the right wing in front of us and forcing us to try to understand this thing that no one needs to fucking understand. They're just full of shit.
This is, okay. I was walking through Boston Common decades ago, and there was this guy who had a huge snake around his neck.
Yeah, that guy.
And we walked.
Old snaker.
Yeah, and I was 13, and I was walking with my sister, and my sister and we.
God, this is just like Brendan's fetish corner. Is like this week's episode. I already know where this story's going.
So we walked by him, and I was thunderstruck by the fact that this cat
Yes, you
had
were.
Had
I'm sorry. Go
a
ahead.
giant snake. He had a giant snake around his neck, and
Yeah.
he was just like looking at everyone, looking at him as he walked by, and so my brain instantly went to, what is the deal with that guy? I can't believe he has a snake. Who is he? What's the backstory, et cetera, et cetera. And my sister was like, Jesus, what a desperate plea for attention. That poor.
Oh, she was the right one.
Yeah.
She was correct.
Yeah, she was
She
like,
had it right.
that poor bastard. Wow, he has an empty.
Yeah.
He has an empty life. And,
Yes.
And so the right wing are the people who walk around a public park with a giant fucking boa constrictor around their neck to show off, or like wear a violin for a hat to a party or something like that. And you're like, oh wow, aren't you fascinating? And they're like, I'm crazy, you know?
Right. Well, that's what these Boogaloo brothers last night. These the proud fellas.
Wait, I haven't
These
checked
guys
the
are-
news. What happened last night?
Oh well, there was a in D.C. They had a
Oh, the 5,000 man
Mega-
march.
yeah exactly yes 5,000 people showed up to this thing. It's amazing. Which is just a side note, which is sort of what makes me feel like they're not that much of a threat. Like it's just like it's 5,000 beefy guys who are looking for a fight.
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah. But the column inches they get though.
That's not even a local like basketball game. That's not even your high school basketball game.
Right,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, two high schools full of assholes getting
Yes.
a bunch of buses or in their giant hiked pickup trucks and
Right, that-
down to DC.
That's who we're dealing with.
Yep.
But they're all walking around. There's no open carry in DC, so they couldn't bring their weapons, which I'm sure made them all a little teary-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still gussied up in their like war gear. Like everyone's wearing flak jackets and shit like that, you know.
Meal Team
And-
6.
Yeah, right, exactly. And like there's a lot of people who are looking at these guys, and they look at these guys, they look at like an assembly of like peaceful protesters, and they think the guys in the flak jackets are the good guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? It's like I just don't understand the perception that you would have to have in order to like essentially, I mean, I guess it's just racist. That's what the perception is. It's just racist. It's really all just racist.
That's all this country is racism disguised as a country.
Racism disguised as a country. Pretty much. Yeah. I forget what you said that prompted that reminiscence on my part. I feel like I sort of veered off the path of the discussion.
The guy in the park with a snake. Oh wait,
The guy in the park with a snake. Oh, well, that's it. They're signifying. Like, yeah, I mean, all these guys in the flak jackets, like, they're just signifying importance. They're signifying some kind of role in like a culture war or something that they don't actually have. Like, they're not interesting. They don't have a point of view. They don't have a purpose. It's just all signifiers.
yes, a purpose other than to be the asshole,
Just to be the asshole. They're just the turd in the punch bowl.
the turd in the punch bowl.
Yep. That's all my Boogaloo brothers. I'm sorry to tell you guys. I know we've had some laughs, some good times. We've told some racist jokes.
They're easy. They are easy laughers. You can just tell them the simplest, most simply constructed joke, and they laugh as if they've never heard anything like it.
Oh yeah, that's my plan to defeat them. Is that if we like the next time they have a march or something, just throw a bunch of banana peels out on the sidewalk. They're going to be laughing for days. They'll be slipping on banana peels everywhere you turn.
And while they're laughing, we can confiscate their guns.
Yep, exactly. Maybe they'll slip on the banana peels and their guns will go off and they'll just like be mass violence and death.
Jeff, what is your Spike Club?
My Spike Club is minimalizers. I'm calling these people.
Mm-hmm.
And these are people who are always looking on the bright side of everything. People who think that denial is comfort. Like if you say something, I'm having a hard time, and the person's answer is, well, it's bound to get better,
Oh,
blah, blah, blah. Like these
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Like they're not optimists, because I would consider myself an optimist. I think overall that we're like I believe, like, I want to believe that the universe bends towards justice, or whatever they have to say, and that things are on a whole getting better. But it's just people who just have all they have is denial. Like it's just like anything that could possibly go wrong, they like feel compelled to like look on, like it's almost like a manic optimism. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I do know exactly what you mean. Or they'll say like, "Oh yeah, well I once got a thing," and they'll say something that wasn't nearly as bad as what you're going through, and I got
Right.
over it in a couple of days. It cleared right up, or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
It's dismissive. It's dismissive.
it's
not
dismissive. Exactly.
It's not like you're not connecting when you're doing that. It's
Mhm.
like you're just like, okay, we're done with you. Like whatever pain you're feeling right now. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You really shouldn't feel that way because it's actually not a big deal.
Yes,
That's what
totally.
they're saying. There's it, and it's sometimes as a person when you're complaining about something, there's problem space and there's solution space, and sometimes
Yes.
you just want to be in the problem and dwell in the problem for a long
Yeah.
time, and just like complain and say it sucks and look at all the contours of the problem and not be ushered along into the solution.
Yes. One of my favorite, I think the best actually articulation of what you should do is in the movie Inside Out. Have you seen Inside Out?
Yes, I have.
The cartoon. Have you
Yep.
shown that to Oscar?
I have.
It's a really lovely movie.
Lovely, great.
But there's the scene where the elephant is about to die, and the sadness is sitting next to him, and he's like talking about how sad he is because he lost his wagon or whatever. And Joy comes over and she's like, "It's great. We'll get another wagon. It's great. We're gonna do this." Blah, 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 blah. And the elephant just like kind of looks at her, and then sadness is like, "Yeah, that's terrible, man. That sucks that you lost that wagon. God, God, I hate it. I hate losing wagons." And like, it's just such a nice scene that she's the
Yes.
hero in that scene. Like that. It's like,
Yes.
yeah, just be sad. It's fine. Just be
Right.
sad.
Yes.
Don't always everything doesn't always have to be made better immediately.
Yes. Oh, God, I couldn't agree more. And why does happiness have so much value?
Yes. Right.
So much more value than other emotions, even. Why can't,
Yes, as a
why can't
state,
sadness...
like,
right.
you just need to be in that. Like there's something in, there's definitely, I don't know if it's every culture, but definitely in our culture, like you have to be happy. Like if you're not happy, then something is wrong. And
Right.
how many of us are ever like just truly happy? It's like that shouldn't be the baseline. The baseline should be neutral.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
I'm neutral.
There are two stages.
Most of the time I'm neutral.
Neutral, and then there's devastating. And if you're neutral, hot damn, that's a good day.
Yeah, exactly. Neutral's as good a place as you're probably going to get in today's world.
Yeah, frankly. And do you ever like say to yourself, "I'm so happy"? You know what I mean? No. You can be like, "I definitely fucking feel like sad or angry or upset."
Sure.
And
Sure.
and like when Biden won, I was jumping up and down, but it was sweet, blissful non-devastation for the first time in 4 years.
Relief. It was relief.
Relief at not feeling
Yes.
anything, as opposed to
Yeah.
like elation and happiness. I mean, I guess maybe, but happiness as a frequency is so weak compared to the frequencies of sad and angry.
So true. So true. I'll tell you when I am happy though, is when I'm watching Convoy.
Oh, that's a level of happiness that I feel that happiness entirely below my neck.
I think that needs to be our first our first group activity is a screening of Convoy with our listeners. Yeah. I actually love that.
It's a winner. It's a winner. Chuck Norris. Every right-wing molecule in that guy's body is perfect.
It's so true. Can we move into our next segment? A parent.
I just don't understand.
I, a parent, just don't understand how the culture of the youth has gotten so out of hand. They watch trash and listen to shitty bands. And I, who am a parent, I just don't understand.
That theme song.
Yes.
Is that our best theme song?
I don't know. I can't be the judge. You be the judge. Let history be the judge.
Let's let history be the judge.
But I thank you for those kind words. I do enjoy that theme song. That was a
You're-
fun one to do.
And you presented it without the enveloping joke and let us all discover it on our own.
That's true. But although I thought it was such an obvious joke that everyone would get it. Although it is a little weird for me to be referencing a Fresh Prince song and doing a Humpty Hump voice. So I can see how.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's a little bit. So it's a little bit oblique in that regard.
Yeah, yeah. It's a little bit of a mixed metaphor.
Yeah.
This segment. But this is things that we as parents do not understand about the upcoming generation. And Brendan, something I do not understand is I did some calls for Biden. I did some phone calls, which were, I don't know if they were at all useful. I mean, I left a bunch of voicemails on one call, and then on election day, I talked to exactly one person who told me to fuck off because no one answers their phone.
No.
But then I went on election day. Then I switched over to making texts, which were actually quite effective. I helped a guy find his polling place. That was
nice.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But I made probably hundreds of calls. Got a handful of actual people that I talked to, but I heard over the course of all of those phone calls, I heard maybe 2 personal voicemails.
Mm-hmm.
Like every single voicemail I get is, "You have reached 323-515." It's the robot voice. And I don't, is it not cool to have a personal voicemail anymore?
That's a
Was
great
there
question.
some like point in history where we decided that was some like having a personal voicemail was like an intrusion of some sort, that like there's something like somehow our privacy is being sabotaged if you have a personal voicemail or something?
Now, when you say, do you mean are you specifically talking about the outgoing message where you say, "Hi there, please leave
Yes.
a message"? You're not talking about the
Yes.
existence
Yeah.
of voicemail itself.
No, the outgoing message. Yes.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah, and I remember.
Hi, you've reached so and so. You've
Yeah.
reached Jeffrey Dinsmore. Leave me a message.
And I knew a guy for whom it was an art form, and every time you called him,
Uh-huh.
you'd change it every week, and it was hilarious. I would call him just to hear his new outgoing message because it was so fucking funny. And this was on his home
Yeah.
answering machine in the 90s. And he would put a lot into it. He had sound effects, and he would tell some weird story, and it had nothing to do with it being a voicemail, and then there would just be a beep at the end. It was amazing.
Yeah. It's fun, and that's easier than ever now with modern technology.
Yes, that's true.
You don't even have to get 2 tape recorders and record one onto the other.
Right. Exactly. Or go into a local outgoing message recording studio storefront,
Yes.
which I'm sure must have existed briefly in certain parts of Eastern Europe.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, what is that? The Seinfeld, the "Believe it or not, George is in at home." Like, what is that? He must have had that done professionally somehow.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure there was a service.
And minuscule sidebar, I have finally realized that my son is George Costanza, and I live with George Costanza.
Oh, really? Say
Yeah.
more.
He's the way he deals with us and yells and experiences life and takes the turns all very hard. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what's going on here. Oh, this is George. And,
Interesting. So
I'm-
he's actually Larry. He's actually Larry David, since Larry David is
yeah.
George Costanza is Larry David.
Yep, exactly. Irrepressible, always getting into sociological scrapes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's him.
and
But
you have to defend him.
no, I just say, hey, he's got to figure out how to navigate the world on his own.
Take your lumps, kid.
Take your lumps, kid. But he does
Yep.
it with a certain amount of aplomb. Takes a note very well, and he makes adjustments, recovers from episodes quickly, but the episodes keep coming.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Do you have any episodes you want to share with us?
Oh, geez, let's see. Lately, he's been saying he's been rating us as parents on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
Emily is a solid 2, and I am a 3.
Wow. Wow. That is low. You got a lot of improvement to
Yeah,
make.
and he every meal. Emily does most of the cooking, and she likes to get feedback on her new experiments. And I'm like, Emily, this is delicious, and he'll be like, mediocre.
That's good. You're raising an honest kid. He's not going to be the one who's going to try to make you feel better about things.
Absolutely not. No, he will dwell in the problem with you. He is not interested in peace or smoothness.
Love it.
He likes the bumps.
Not a minimalizer, this kid.
A maximalist.
Maximalizer. What is your Brendan? What do you not understand about the younger generation today?
So as you may or may not know or be aware of, I spend a lot of time on TikTok these days. And
I buy it.
yeah,
I'll believe
because I heard about it for 2 years before. I was like, what is it? All right. What is TikTok? This is going to be a long poop. I'll just download the app and open it and see what happens. And then, and that poop has been going on ever since because because it's better than Reddit was. Like I discovered Reddit in 2011, and then I looked up and it was 2013. You know, and this is it's another. And then Reddit kind of went away or whatever. It just became not as awesome. But it's the same thing where it's like, oh my god. But here's the thing. So anyway, there's that. But on it, and this is a two-parter. On Reddit, there is tons and tons of young millennials and Zoomers educating each other on how to get rich with like Amazon affiliate marketing, drop shipping, investing, becoming a slumlord, all these different things. Where they're all total entrepreneur of forex trading. They're just all entrepreneurs and
hustling. They're all hustling.
They're hustling. They're all Dustin Hoffman and Midnight Cowboy. All of them. They're all reaching into the coin return of every payphone they walk past. You know.
Right.
And I went to a friend. I brought Oscar to a friend's stand-up show last night because it was right down the street. They did stand-up in an amphitheater in Yosemite Park in Eagle Rock, which was super cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's this big stone amphitheater that I have never seen used for anything. And so, and a friend tweeted out that she was going to be doing a set at 7:30 on Saturday night, and I was like, "Oh, Oscar won't be in bed yet. Oscar, you want to go see some stand up?" So we went, and I even have a nearby parking space, you know, so it's like that I knew because of Occidental. It's right behind Occidental. So anyway, I went, saw my friend's set, and she was great. And she said during the show, she's 27, so she's on the dating scene, and she was like, "I've
got a 27-year-old friend."
I don't want to brag or anything.
How did that happen? Did you meet her on TikTok?
No, I met her because I did like a college convention to take my weird stuff out to colleges and perform, but never went anywhere. And the college kids were like, "What? Who are you? What? No, you just seem like a professor. Why would I want to have another class as entertainment? No, thank you." But she was in the booth, and she's a stand-up. She was in the booth next to me, advertising her stand-up to come to colleges, and she did great. And I didn't do great. Wow. But anyway, she was awesome. So anyway, so I would go, and we were, and so I walked, and she said during her act that she has been on 5 socially distanced dates, and on each one, they ended up it was not at all romantic, and instead they just talked about making money off of like TikTok and social media. Each time it became a seminar in money making on social media, she said.
Right.
And so what I don't understand as a parent is like, I mean, that is really smart to do, like get that hustle going young and get those passive income revenue streams happening so that you can be a stand-up comedian, or you can be, you know, or whatever, or like a fucking baker or something like that, or whatever you actually want to do, and definitely turn this country into Denmark. But as someone from this generation to whom none of that we were sold a bill of goods by the Clinton administration, like, get a job, you'll be able to be vice president of saving the world or whatever, and we're like, oh
wow, that you just morphed into Bill Clinton there. That's a fantastic Clinton impression.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, well, shucks, I'm pushing up my hair bob. So and we were like, oh, great. Okay, so we're just supposed to get jobs in nonprofits and we'll somehow be as rich as the Clintons and also save the world. But it didn't work. We all got jobs in nonprofits or whatever the fuck. Or started our, you know, tiny micro publishing concern like you, or fucking theater companies like me. And the money was nowhere. And then our jackass counterparts that went to Wall Street, they're the ones who have those fancy houses that look like submarines on the new hill in my neighborhood. So
that's right.
Sold the bill good. These guys all get it, but I don't get how they got it, and I don't get getting it, and I don't get getting it so young. and I just don't understand, and I'm jealous, and I want my youth back so I can hustle like they are.
No, Brendan, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. The only reason they're having to do that is because we have no safety net in this country. And this is something that I've been like really, so there's a new, do you know, Rock Against Racism? Do you know this thing? It was like a 70s movement where the punks started by like punks where, there was, you know, a skinhead, neo-Nazi contingent of the punk movement. And punks like the Clash got together and they're like, fuck that shit. We're not into we're anti-Nazi, we're anti-fa, if you will. And they started Rock Against Racism, which became this gigantic movement and ended up just shaming the neo-Nazis away into their holes for 40 fucking years.
Go Rock.
Yes, go Rock. And it was this huge movement. And where was I going with that? Oh, so they just made this documentary about it, which I haven't seen yet. But I'm just like that's what kids could do when they lived in Britain on the dole. That's what you could do if you were like in a small band. And now all of that energy is going towards making a buck.
Oh, I see your point.
Like you can't. That all they're doing is trying to survive. Like we're teaching our children from age 15, like there is no safety net. There's no, you're never going to find a job that you're happy in. Like you will never do anything like full time. So you just got to scrap and scrape and punch your fellow TikToker in the fucking nose if he's getting to that brass ring before you do.
Yep. Yes, that's true.
That's what the hustle is all about.
But counterpoint, that's true. Everything you said about their future lives is true, and they're being told the truth.
Yeah.
As opposed to us. And so, in a way, I hear what we should have is a stronger ultimately, we should have a stronger safety net.
Yeah.
But Mitch McConnell is like, well, everyone should suffer so that my friends are rich.
That's right. Yeah, that's another good impression. But I'll tell you what it is. We're raising a nation of Jawas.
Oh,
Jawas as far as the eye can see.
Houdini! That's what they yell.
Yes. that's exactly what they're yelling when they make a sale on Alibaba.
So we should call them the Otinis. We shouldn't call them the Zoomers.
I maybe so, yeah.
Or the Jawas.
Or
these little
Generation Jawa.
Yeah, Boba Fett parks his car and they just strip it the moment he walks away.
Exactly. That's what our kids are doing. It's terrible.
Oh my God. They really are too. They're all becoming slumlords and they're all becoming and they're all selling cheap plastic shit off of Alibaba.
But I mean, I guess it's like in some ways, like, sure, okay, cool. Like, I get it. You're taking advantage of a system that is fucked up, and that you're finding the cracks in which you can make your existence. But it's just somehow it just all feels like, I mean, essentially you're just like, it's another form of driving an Uber. Like eventually there's going to be someone above you, like that you're going to some piper that you're going to have to pay.
The question the question becomes, there's this like dichotomy between doing what you want and doing what you have to. And which one should you be able to do first?
Doing what you want and doing what you have to. Which one should you be able to do first? But like you're doing what you want. Do you think that's really what's happening? Like, is that what hustling means?
Or, well, I mean, maybe it's philosophically like, where on Maslow's hierarchy should we be allowed to be born into and never go down from? Should we be born into belonging and go up? Is that the perfect society? And no one ever has to think about security or survival. Yes, I would say, right?
Sure. I mean, yes, that sounds ideal to me. I love it.
Otherwise, we should just be bands of hunters and gatherers.
Yeah, Jawas.
So, wow, George Lucas really was more prescient than I realized.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he had all that shit in there.
Wow. God damn it, he had it all. Yeah, so there, if we're a society where so much wealth is created, then everyone should be born into the belonging stage and only go up from there. and no one should have to think about survival nor what's the other one? Security. But
No.
the others, not us, the Milton Friedmans of the world would think, no, everyone should be forced to contend with their own survival and security because that's what makes the economy grow for the people who are long since past them or something. I don't know. It brings up philosophical questions that I'm confused about. Like I see what they're doing, this hustle they're doing, as kind of smart because it will save them from the inevitable economic apocalypse that will face them like it faced us.
Yeah, but they're contingent. It's all contingent upon factors. Like I feel like you're that are controlled by outside of you. Like I just feel like Alibaba there could be a worldwide tech meltdown, and then what do? Then you got to find another hustle. I don't know.
Right. Then you're eating weeds in the same park you used to do stand up in.
Yeah, but then arguably, I guess my full-time job depends on those factors as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think money has to go.
Yeah.
Money, we're done with you.
Yeah, universal basic income.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just don't. We're not honest about what a factor luck is, and luck is the only factor.
It is the only factor, right? Exactly. And like that video of that guy I sent you who wears a stupid hat said,
Yeah.
We in this country have equated wealth with morality and goodness, and therefore,
Yeah.
if you are in poverty, you are also bad. And that
Yeah.
that is the fundamental problem with the United States. But it's been here since the fucking Puritan assholes landed in 1630 in Boston, and so
Sure.
therefore, we have to start over again. We have to all go,
Yeah.
all leave, and come back in another 100 years. Like let it just be like reset for 100 years, and then try again with the new model.
Oh, if only we could. If only we could do that.
Yeah.
Shall we move on? We have 2 segments left.
Oh, yes.
Do we want to do both of the segments, or do we want to skip ahead to You Make the Call?
Oh, let's skip ahead. Let's do You Make the Call.
Okay. You make the call, and we'll answer the call. When you're feeling small, we'll nail your balls to the wall. And now we recognize that may not be what you want at all, but you should have known what you were getting into when you made the call. It's very exciting. We have people calling, Brendan. It's so exciting.
We have callers, which must mean, ergo, we have listeners.
That's right. Yes. Well, 2. We have 2 listeners
We do
and
have
2
2.
callers.
Thanks, you guys. And they're in the
It's a
room with us
perfect-
now.
Yes. It's a perfect 1-to-1 relationship. We have exactly as many listeners as we have hosts. Shall we play these calls?
Yes. I'm excited to hear from Brian Perkins.
Yes. Let's start off with Mr. BLP.
Hello, Dad Jeans. This is Brian L. Perkins, Brian Lamont Laverne Perkins, Brian Lavatory Perkins. I have an advise me, bro. Short and sweet. What are we doing about our nose hair? How are we supposed to deal with it? It's just becoming more voluminous. I've had like a trimmer for 10 years. It hurts. It says it's waterproof. I don't think it is. It's always running out of batteries. I need a new solution. I need the Dad Jeans community to help me. I need product names. I need process ideas. What are we doing about nose hair? Help me out. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, it's a delight.
Always a delight. Brian.
Taking a trip to the loo is always a good time.
Make a run for the bathroom. Brian Lamont Laverne Lavatory Perkins.
I want to know. He said it's waterproof. I don't think it is. There's a story in that somehow.
Did he get shocked? I mean, was he like as he was trying to do it?
Right. Exactly. Or
That's
is he using it in the shower and batteries juice is just leaking out all over his hands?
Exactly. You know, the human body, Jeff, is
Yes.
just one big practical joke. It decides to send your fat to certain places. It decides that now your hair is going to grow in certain places. And it's just
Such a good point.
all a fucking joke. What is it doing? Why is it
So true.
What could possibly be the use suddenly of hair growing out of your ears and your nose?
No.
It's like you're definitely
Useless.
not going to procreate anymore. So now we're just going to make fun of you.
Yes. And like so children don't face the same. Our poor Our poor vulnerable children do not face the same nose and ear problems that we have evolutionarily been designed to protect against. Is that what's happening? Like, why did the nose and the ear hair only come out when you're 40 years old?
Exactly. I mean, I guess maybe at that point you have the acuity to be able to remove it somehow.
I guess, but our ancestors, what were they doing? Were they taking sharpened bones to their nose hair so that they could?
And you walk like, why all that energy spent also on the beard hairs? How much of like what you eat and the exercise and all that stuff, then your body is like, we need to send a ton of energy to beard hair and nose hair. Grow that
Yes.
hair, gentlemen.
Yes.
For what? And how much are we spending in terms of our budget as a
don't
body
know.
on this?
It's a disaster. It's a fucking disaster, is what
Disaster. Yeah, we should just eliminate the line item, do some downsizing. No more hair out of the nose or out of the face.
Yes. So my answer to your question, though, I do have an answer, Mr. L. Perkins, is that I have a manual nose hair trimmer, which I love. It's Tonma, Tonma. I just looked it up on Amazon. There are no batteries involved. It's just this little tube with some sharp blades at the end of it that are like protected. You can't like accidentally slice your nose up. And then you
Not
there's
become Chinatown.
Yeah, no, exactly. Cool it down, Jake. We're gonna then there's a little like twister on the bottom, and you put the thing in your nose and you twist it around, and hairs be gone.
Oh, wait. So there's no engine or machine inside. You're literally twisting so it's like a manual lawnmower too. So you're mowing basically.
It's the same principle as a manual lawnmower. That is correct for your nose and for your ears as well. And you don't have that loud buzzing that happens with an electric one, zzz, going right in your ear ball.
Oh yeah, no, thank you.
I love this thing. I've had it for 10 years. I will never go back.
That's one of those buy it for life kind of situations.
Buy it for life. I'm looking at it right now. It's $12.97.
Wow.
On Amazon. The Tonma is the name of the maker of this
also
thing.
Goes to show you that you don't need a buzzy little battery juice sucking thing. You can we have hands. Emily's always talking about this as a cinematographer. I'm like, she never uses Steadicams or anything like that, and she's like, I got the Steadicam right here with her arms. She's like, the best Steadicams in the world are the human arms.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, you don't need that
That's
shit.
interesting.
You don't need the people with the backpacks with the string hanging down. She was like, that's kind of okay if you have to hold the camera for 10 straight hours, but you can hold it a lot more smooth than any. I mean, I guess like Steadicams if you're running, then you need one of those kind of things. But for just like walking around, it can be plenty smooth. You can get much better articulation with the hands. So my point being, manual labor is overlooked by modern industry.
Absolutely. And let me just reverse that real quick. I just looked it up on Amazon, and the Groom mate actually is what you're going for. The Tonma, it appears as a cheap ripoff of the Groom mate, which Amazon tells me. What's that?
I see what they did there. Groommate.
Groommate. Yeah, that's fun. Like when I had that roommate who actually his entire job was trimming my various hairs. He was my dom or my sub. Or dom. It depends on the day.
And now he's
Brendan,
senior vice president at Goldman Sachs.
Yeah, now he's Mitch McConnell. How Brendan? What do you do with your nose hairs?
I don't want to Ron Swanson you fellas.
Okay,
but I'm about to.
Go ahead, Swanson us.
I have these. I have tweezers, but they're not regular tweezers that you pinch shut. They're like with the scissor loops, so you can squeeze them with the might of your hands. And I fucking rip my nose hairs out of my head with tweezers. I just rip them by the group.
No.
And you go, and the thing is
Nope.
you get all the way down to the base, and so you squeeze all the bases together and just and rip them all out.
Ow.
And
Ow.
my favorite ones are the ones that are for some reason like 3/4 of an inch long and curly at the end, where you're just like doing, and you feel it basically come out of your brain, and you're like,
Ugh.
whoa, what's that doing there? And then
Ugh.
you have to dig into the front of your nose and pull that tool towards the back of the room to get those that are hiding up in the little notch crevice in the front of your nostril there.
Ugh.
It's
Ugh.
dude, I know it's and at first when I would do that, I've been doing this for like 2 years. I gave up on the fancy ones you buy at the store because they wouldn't always do the job, or new batteries, and like who needs it, who has half a day every week to spend just dealing with batteries. And so I was like, fuck it, I'm just doing this the old fashioned way, and I stare myself in the mirror and my eyes water, and it has become ritualized and cleansing and feels like a hair shirt ritual, and
Eek.
afterwards I'm sin free.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Nope. No thanks. But this does actually go back to another recent discussion we've had about this book, Breathe, in which you have nose orgasms, according to this book.
Oh, that's right.
So
Right.
maybe you're a nose
Masochist.
sadist.
Yeah.
Or masochist. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely am. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I do, while I'm doing this, have a red ball in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that part.
But you tend to have that in your mouth like anytime you're not doing dad jeans, right?
I can't start my day without a ball gag.
That's Tiffany America's little requirement.
She wants to eat breakfast in peace, basically, without my my gas
Of course.
bagging.
And you've gotten used to it.
I have been sleeping with I got the Breathe Right strips where they open my nose up. Yeah, the thing
nice.
like that football players wear.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I wear the thing that ties my head shut, and then I go to sleep in my crazy outfit. And sometimes I have to go in to address Oscar concerns, and I'm in there with like the Band-Aid across my nose and like the black thing around my head, and he just like takes it in stride. He's like, "Yep, that's my dad."
That's all dad. That's what he's up to.
Yep.
Has it worked? Has it helped you?
Oh my God, I have the weirdest dreams, and I sleep like if I want to, I can sleep for 10 straight hours that way.
Wow. That's amazing. So it works.
It works. It doesn't ever work. I even wake up
Is
with
it
kind of a
making your
sore
mouth-
throat because
Yeah.
it's like all that air and coming in a new way freaks out my throat, but it's not that bad.
I've had that too. I stopped using the mouth tape for reasons I won't get into, but it's not as mysterious as I'm making it sound.
I see. I'm afraid my brain has gone to very mysterious places based on what you just said.
It's because of all my nose orgasms. Okay, so we have 2 calls this week from our new friend of the pod, Michaela Block. I should say that she was on our ill-fated flash flood trip. So she's
Wow.
one of the families that we went camping with, and she slept through the entire thing.
Oh, she was one of the people in the tent that woke up and said, "What happened
Yeah.
last night?" Wow.
Yeah. The next morning she woke up and she's like, "Hey, breakfast, how you doing? Everyone have a good night?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we almost died."
Jesus
She's
H.
like,
Christ.
"What?" And I will share another factoid about Michaela. I've been trying to get her to call in, actually, which is how this whole thing started. I don't mean to out her, but she was going to out herself on the air. But she has Meniere's disease.
Are you kidding me? Oh my
No.
God. Wow.
We should have her call in to talk us through it?
Oh my God. Yeah, I would love to talk to her about that. Michaela, I am so sorry. I have noticed that is the secret handshake among people who have this disease, that when you have it and you meet someone else who has it, you basically greet each other by being like, "I'm so sorry."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she wears
Hearing aids. Yeah, that's
Yes.
I'll be wearing hearing aids soon enough.
But they sound pretty boss. She's got like a USB connection, so she can just listen to her, like switch over to her tunes anytime she wants to.
Oh, that's kind of dope. And nowadays, everyone wears
Or dad jeans.
or dad jeans. And now the stigma's kind of gone, because I'm sure they can make hearing aids look like anything at this point. So they just look like weird earbuds.
Yeah, totally.
Not that there was ever a stigma, but I mean, when you're destined for, I've done a lot of thinking about hearing aids in particular, and maybe this is insensitive of me, but I have felt a certain relief that when I finally have to wear them, they will be they'll look like earpods.
They're very they're very non-intrusive nowadays.
Yeah, like Miracle Ear. What did he say? He said up 2 streets and take a left. Did you ever see that ad when you were growing up? He said
I'm sure I
Italian
did.
Thousand Islander vinaigrette.
I'm sure I did. I know all the late night commercials.
He said he doesn't want to leave it, but he has to.
Amazing. But so let's listen to our 2 calls we have from Michaela.
Okay,
Are we ready?
ready.
Hi, awesome dudes. It's Michaela, one of your favorite listeners. And I'm listening to Don't Trust the Wheat right now, your most current podcast. As if Friday couldn't get any better, then I get to listen to you guys. And you're talking about cleaning toilets. And if you guys can talk about blow-drying ball sacks, then you can listen to me discuss. But I sometimes get a paper towel and I get in that hole. I just get down in that hole. There's no brush that can clean it. But my question is, like, Jeff, you do all the cleaning, and Brendan, you're struggling with it. Like, Brendan, you remind me of my husband in that he is aware of cleanliness and he appreciates what I do, but he can walk over and away from something without seeing it. Like, I see all the things. But my other problem is I'm controlling, and I like cooking and cleaning. Like, we're pretty equal in all other, we're a feminist household, but I like doing all the things, but I need to teach people how to do the things. Iris just came in here. She's watching YouTube, one of Jeffrey's favorite things. Anyway, guys, have a great... Jeffrey Dinsmore. He's a awesome dad. Anyway, I love you guys.
Excellent.
Okay, let's do number 2.
Okay.
Hi, guys. It's Michaela Block again. I am stalking you. I do have that mentality. So I am calling in response to your advice. Wow, you guys, this is a real hotline. That was Brendan. I can't wait to meet you. I really want to hug you. I've been in love with Jeffrey for quite some time. Sarah knows. We've already shared this. But that was really great advice. I immediately Googled the school suggestions, and I'm going to just at least research it and follow through, because we had a 504 meeting for Micah, which is like if you don't qualify for an IEP or special services, so like, okay, well, like use a calculator and have extra time in testing. Bullshit. So the teachers are really trying, but I love this because I was like, I can't send my son to Frostig, which is like the special school for, like you said, purple hair. He does actually have pink hair, so that's kind of funny. But I'm so grateful to you guys. You fill my day with laughter for at least an hour. It's a longer podcast, but it is full of, I do laugh a lot when I listen to you guys. I nod in agreement as well. So now I have an awesome nugget, a kernel, a huge tome of advice. So thanks, guys.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely human being. Michaela, I hope to meet you as well someday.
Yes, we're helping people. So I will say this to Michaela. We are on the long side of podcasts. You're not wrong there. But I will say that recently, so Sarah started listening to Dad Jeans, which I never thought would happen, but suddenly she just developed an interest for it, I guess. And she, for years, she's been like, you got to get it under an hour. You got to get it in under an hour. I can't listen to it. It's too long. And now that she's a listener, she's like, oh, I get it. You just have to get in a groove. And that's so true. We get in a groove, Brendan.
Yeah, you have to get in the groove. That's so
Yep.
funny. Emily also just started listening. And I have dreaded this day my entire life. You know what I mean? Because so Oscar and I came out one day.
Oh, you finally came out.
I know.
for you.
She was like, "Who's Tiffany America?" And I was like, "Oh, you're Tiffany America."
Amazing.
She was. I came out of I don't know where I was or whatever, and I came out
Probably in the
and
bathroom.
she and Oscar were listening to an episode, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And yeah, and I was like, oh, "There might be stuff I have to explain." Oh dear God, you know, Oscar, there's a whole dimension of life you don't know about yet, and sex. And I don't know how to actually last night at the stand-up show, they of course started talking about pedophilia, and one guy was like talking about fucking children, and then the host afterwards came up and was like, quick reminder, there's a kid here now.
amazing.
But look, and Oscar turned to me at one point and he was like, "Arr," and I was like, "Oh, what's making?" When he was saying that, and he said he keeps saying "fuck children," and I was like, "Oh yeah, he hates children. He hates children."
He hates these cans.
Go with that. But that is really funny. I don't remember talking about hair drying ball sacks. Were you talking about that?
Yeah, that was at Wee Spa. The older Korean gentlemen who
yeah.
stand with their legs up on the sink, just going to town.
That's right. And and feather their pubic hair.
Yes. Farrah Fawcett style.
Spray hairspray. The
Totally.
whole deal.
Yeah. I wonder if
Parted in the middle.
I wonder if has straightening your pubic hair ever been a thing?
So it just hangs down.
Yeah. Or like a Jerry curl, like you got to spray the activator through your pants.
Oh my God. So she said a lot of interesting things. I want to touch on a couple things. I want to touch on the idea of a feminist household. I want to touch on the idea of getting down in that part of the toilet with a paper towel. I was cleaning the toilet yesterday, which I do on Saturdays, and I was looking at that, and I was like, I got to get one of those plastic gloves, like the yellow housework gloves that goes up to your elbow. I can't do this bareback.
No, you got to stay safe.
Yeah, Jesus, dear God.
Yeah. See, so okay, the thing I understand is this is what I want to understand. The way I was taught to do a toilet is you get the toilet brush, right?
Yeah.
And you push the water into the tank with the brush.
Yep.
But it still doesn't go all the way up there. Like there's still a little bit of water like floating in the bottom. So doesn't your paper towel get all wet? But now I guess I'm just asking for trouble because now Michaela's going to call back. And then we'll have something else to respond to, and we'll go back and forth. We should really just have her on the podcast
to explain how to clean a toilet.
Yes, exactly.
I love her perspective on the thing. Like she loves doing it. She loves to be in control of it, and that's why she does it. And it's not or something like that. But they are otherwise a feminist household, and they divide and conquer. And Emily and I do our best to divide and conquer also. But because Emily is such a maestro at all of these things. Like she taught me how to clean a toilet. I was just like hitting it with Windex and wiping it around the rim when I was a bachelor. And she was like, no. And and we had to do this whole kind of thing. And I was like an ego man. And I was like, oh. And so I had to actually learn, But per this conversation, I left my contact lens stuff and like the little container on the on the sink and walked away the other morning, and that drives Emily crazy when I do that. And she took a picture of it, and she texted me the picture of it with the caption, "The patriarchy." And I was like, oh, that's what this is about. Okay, all right.
Okay, so now what was the other thing you wanted to touch on about Michaela's call?
I remember what I was going to say. There's this whole thing with kids where it's like they're all on the same tempo, and the tempo is fast to do it in 12 years, like meet all these requirements. But there's so many different types of kids, and I feel there's another school called Map Academy in outside of Boston and Plymouth, but that's in person mostly. But they have kids who they have kids who dropped out, who couldn't make it, who have kids of their own or whatever, like their parents are struggling or whatever. Their high school goes up to the age 24. Where they get people, and it can take that long, Some people enter when they're 15, but their life is so difficult, or their inner life is so difficult that it takes till they're 24 years old, That's dire and different, of course, but nonetheless, it's something where it shouldn't be like you have to finish by the time you're 17 and a half. You have exactly 12 years to do this. Every year there's going to be a rigorous this and that, Like they're just stamping out. It's Pink Floyd's The Wall. They're just stamping out people for an economy that doesn't exist anymore, so they can make more widgets on the factory line. But the factories are gone. So why all the strictures? Why can't it take a child the amount of time it takes?
Yes, and America tells you that if you don't have the advantages or the capability to do it exactly like everyone else, then it's all your fault.
Exactly. And then if they struggle to make money, they're also immoral because they're not rich.
Yes. Exactly. Well,
God damn it.
That's what we're here for, Brendan. We're going to fix it.
We're going to fix it by figuring out a way to make it start all over. We got to reset this country. We got to hit the reset button.
Yes. Amen, brother. And I think that's a good place, as good a place as any to end it. So with that, I will bid you adieu.
Good night, Jeffrey.
Dad!